Hello and welcome to French Fried Trains. It's Saturday, July 27th, 2019, at our normal spot in Carlisle, Ohio. We went out a little after lunch and we lucked out. The southbound signal was already yellow, indicating that a train meet was more than likely going to happen soon. I did have to wait about a half an hour to 40 minutes or so before we heard the first horn of the southbound coming. An intermodal train, led by ET44AH. He definitely still has some speed going on here before coming up on this yellow signal, but he was shorter than most intermodal trains, and he had enough time to slow down before reaching the other end of the siding at the south end of Carlisle. And here comes a second distributed power locomotive. Another ET44AH. It had been a couple weeks since I've caught an intermodal, so this was a nice catch for me. At this point, I was thinking he was going to stop down there on the main line and we'd have a 2-train meetup. But as luck would have it, it ended up being 4 trains. After his bottom end went past the signal, it went lunar, and he pulled all the way to the end of the siding. And sure enough, a short while later, we heard a horn on the south end of town and coming from the north end of town at the same time. So, there's a northbound crawling up the siding, and this southbound coming into town to pull up behind this intermodal train. This southbound actually stopped just shy of that crossing there in the video for about 2 minutes before he started crawling again. I was assuming he stopped to give the northbound time to get its bottom end in the siding so the first southbound could start creeping out of the other end of the siding before this one got all the way in there. And with the train in front of him, you better believe he's obeying that lunar signal and staying at a snail's pace. And we have some older power on this train. An SD43 rebuild leads the train, with an SD42 originally built for the Seaboard Coastline trailing. A manifest train with a little bit of everything. A shiny new CSX boxcar. And a Pillsbury car with the Pillsbury Doughboy painted on. In some old Chicago Northwestern hoppers. We're gonna go ahead and cut to the end of the train here, because this train was going so slow and took so long to go by that it would make this video astronomically long if we watched the whole thing. And so, with the southbound passing and the northbound's head end at this end of the siding, we settled in to wait for the northbound to make his run out of town. However, the signal went lunar again, indicating a third southbound was coming. The northbound would just have to wait longer. After about 20 minutes for the first two southbounds to clear, the third southbound finally arrived. A southbound hopper train with a trio of AC44 CWs, all in the YN2 paint scheme. You don't see that very often. You usually see the YN2 paint scheme mixed in here and there, but not all the locomotives at once. It's a dying sight. If you follow this channel at all, then you know we've been seeing this hopper train a lot in the last month or so. We've been trying to figure out what it carries with no luck. I was thinking coke or iron ore. There was another rail fan there that day, and he was on the other side of the train, and he said he saw a lot of reddish dust all over some of the cars, so it's probably an iron ore train. This unit train is usually big, usually has 3 locomotives, like today, although sometimes it runs with 2, and it's all the same brand of hoppers all the way back. he started to pick up a little bit of speed here, indicating the first two southbounds had finally made it far enough away. It's always more in the same cars when you catch this train. The other rail fans that were out that day had radios with them, and the radio was chattering away here, but for the life of me I could not hear what was being said over the sound of the train. Once this train's bottom end had passed, it was time for the parade of southbounds to end, and time for the northbound to finally get his turn to leave town. It was momentary, maybe 2 minutes after this one passed, and the headlights popped on and it was time for the northbound to leave. A manifest train, led by an AC-44CW in the YN2 paint scheme and an ES-40DC. And he's getting underway and underpowered pretty quickly here. Some faces painted on this gondola. And a cut of 6 in a row TTX Railbox boxcars. He's definitely laying on that speed now. And we have some steel coil cars. And a large cut of empty steel slab cars on the end of this train. These steel slab cars are a daily run through here. Loaded head south and empties head north. Lots of them on the back of this guy. And with that northbound finally out of the siding and out of town, that's all the trains we have for you on this episode of French Fried Trains. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day, everyone.